Well, let's talk about gated communities. Are they good? Are they bad? We're gonna get into what the pros and cons of gated communities are here in Southwest Florida. It never fails when we're working with somebody from out of town, out of state, or out of the country who is looking for property here in Southwest Florida. One of the common things that they say is, I cannot get over how many gated communities there are in Southwest Florida. Whether Naples, Fort Myers, Estero, Bonita Springs, there are a lot of gated communities. So there must be something to that, right? Like why would we have so many gated communities? So with the pros and the cons, we're gonna explore. Is this something that you wanna be a part of in a gated community, or is it something that you wanna run as far away as humanly possible? Here we go. All right, so pro number one is security. So just think those gates close and then nobody can get beyond those gates. You think of this barrier between you and the rest of society. That's what it is behind the gates of a gated community, sort of. You know, that's sort of the case. Certainly, what gated communities do is they help keep people who shouldn't be in the neighborhood out, and so that helps with crime, that helps with just, you know, random people coming by who just shouldn't have any interest, there's no reason to be in your particular community. All right, now let's go over to the other side and see what con number one is. And that is HOAs, Homeowners Associations. If there's a gate, that means that we are blocking off some portion of society. That means that we've got to have private roads that are maintained by a homeowners association, and then other things that a homeowners association would take care of. So you have to be part of an HOA, and with being a part of an HOA are HOA fees. So there are HOA fees if you live behind the gates of any community, and sometimes those can range anywhere from $150, and sometimes they'll go upwards of, we've seen $1,000+ a month with condo fees and HOA fees and everything behind those beautiful gates that are, again, holding out the rest of society. All right, now pro number two, we just talked about how in con number one that you have additional costs because you have to pay money for those HOA fees, but pro number two is that you may just save some money living behind the gates. And here's how. So if you are a seasonal resident and this is a second home for you, your homeowner's insurance company very well may be happy that those gates exist, and really that's why there's so many in Southwest Florida, because we are a second home area. People vacation here, people retire here, they winter here, and so second homes, it's good to have that additional security, and some homeowners insurance companies out there will actually give you a discount if you live in a gated community and it's not your primary residence. Cha-ching. All right, now on to con number two, restrictions. And what do I mean by that? Because we're in a homeowners association, there are going to be some restrictions to you by living behind those gates. And those restrictions could inhibit you from doing something that you love. Let's say that you like RVing around the country. Most of those homeowners associations will not allow you to park that RV in your driveway or next to your home, or if you like boating and you're trailing a boat, you can't park that at home. I've seen some communities that say we don't even allow for motorcycles. There's also other restrictions around what you can do with fencing, your paint colors, you name it. Some HOA out there, some homeowners association has probably made some kind of a restriction around that. So if you don't like restrictions and you don't want to have anything to do with gated communities, if that is the case. All right, on to pro number three. We're gonna take con number two and we're gonna flip it around and make that a positive. We talked about the restrictions being a con, a negative, but pro number three is that homes are typically well maintained behind the gates. Because that HOA exists, because there are those restrictions, Generally speaking, you're not gonna get that one crazy neighbor who has painted their home pink and has, you know, a bunch of rusted out vehicles in the backyard. That just doesn't exist in homeowners associations. So while there's some negatives to those restrictions, it also does a good job of keeping people, making sure that they're maintaining the property at a level that isn't detrimental to any of the neighbors. And to me, that's a pretty big perk that's definitely worth noting. All right, con number 3, rules vigilantes. What do I mean by that? We've heard horror stories of homeowners associations that are just sending out letters all of the time. I had a personal experience actually. So I had purchased a foreclosure property in a homeowners association and did everything, remodeled everything. When I purchased the home, the grass was completely dead. There was taken over by weeds. The association should have been extremely happy that I purchased this property. We improved it significantly. Well, you know, we went and we had triplets. And we got a letter after we had triplets that there was one dead flower by our mailbox. And that one dead flower was worthy of somebody going around, writing a little note, sending it to the association management company, who then they have to process a letter, send that over to us to complain that there was a dead flower in our mailbox after we had completely resodded the entire yard, put all new plants in, and just had triplets. So that is very frustrating if you live in a homeowners association, when you have people who we'll call it power trip about the HOA rules, and that is not a very good side of the homeowners association. Now let's talk about pro number 4, and that is amenities. Not all gated communities have amenities, but most of them do. So when they build these communities, typically there are some type of, usually resort style amenities with pools, clubhouses, or even golf courses that are behind the gates in the community that you get to enjoy. So it's right in your own neighborhood that you have access to all of these amazing facilities. So that is a huge pro that many of the gated communities have here in Southwest Florida. All right, now con number 4, behind the gates, it lacks uniqueness a lot of the time. And what I mean by that is because of the homeowners associations, generally in most gated communities, there's one developer or one builder that builds the products, especially when it's the national brands out there, the Lennars and Pulte's and D.R. Hortons of the world. And so what happens is you get smaller lots, you get similar homes, similar schemes, and so there's not a lot of customization that happens in those communities. They can feel sometimes like you're living in Pleasantville, where all of the homes look the same. It's a home, 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 home. Yeah, you know, and I really think that there needs to be more customization around homeowners associations. And don't get me wrong, there are homeowners associations and gated communities where you can build custom homes. I'm not saying that you can't do that. Most of the price points of those, however, are $750,000 and up to even consider building a custom home in a community where that would be allowed. Most of the lower priced homes in gated communities are going to be from those big builders who come in, scrape the land, and then build as many houses as they can on that particular property. So lacking uniqueness is a big problem at a certain price point when it comes to gated communities. Well, that does it for our list of pros and cons in a gated community. Now I want to hear from you, because I know that you have stories about your gated community, or if you're looking in a gated community, I'd love to hear where you're looking and what you're looking for. So post those comments below, and if you could do me a favor and click that like and the bell icon to subscribe to the channel, that would help inspire me to make more videos for you. Thank you so much.